Welcome to SAS, short and sweet tips for the business sector from the Case Mastermind Group. Please talk us through now tip number 4.
So my fourth tip is taking accountability and responsibility. Okay, so this one's always a fun one with people. So this one is all about, are you pointing outside of yourself or are you looking inside? So I'm sure we've all met these people who it's never their fault. You ever met people like that? It's never their fault. It's always the computer did it. The computer made me angry. The internet broke and it wasn't my fault. And this was, never their fault. Okay. The thing is with that, they've given away their power to other people and to other things, even inanimate objects. And that means they've therefore given their power away, so they can't take accountability and responsibility to change themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that this one's really quite important. We call it whether you're living at cause or living at effect. Okay, so it's about saying, okay, well, maybe I didn't choose all of this. However, I'm going to take accountability and responsibility and do something about it. I'm going to think about how I can find a solution around this rather than pointing the finger and blaming other people. Because if we, within a business, spend our lives blaming other people, well, my client didn't do this and they didn't do that and this one didn't do this, then where are you going to go? You're just focusing on the problem, okay? It's a downward spiral, okay? We call it vicious circle or a virtuous circle. And in NLP, we like the virtuous circle of, okay, so how can I find a solution that's going to work? How can I find a way to make this even better? How can I move forward? So it's very much about, okay, I'm responsible for me, I'm responsible for my business, and I'm accountable for that. And so, yeah, it's about really taking a look at yourself and saying, okay, let's look at myself first rather than pointing outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does massively, and it's a really important topic to me. It's something that I speak about quite often. I think this is a really big subject, and obviously we're short and sweet tips, so we're not going to go on for hours. But this is one of my pet subjects, I think, because that society has become a very entitled society of late.
Yeah.
Everyone believes they have a right to this and a right to that, and we see it a lot in the younger generations are coming up now. They're going and they're working for someone. They're giving the impression that they're doing the employer the favour, rather than actually, no, the employer's doing you the favour, is giving you a job. And it's funny, we all, I'm 48 now, and there's people around my age, they're all, it's entitlement mentality, and all these young people, well, we're their parents, we're the ones that brought them up. So the schools that we put them in, where you get a prize for 8th place, and all these things that are mollycoddling people and protecting them from the harsh realities of life, doesn't bring any accountability or responsibility at all. It was tough. I was terrible at sports at school. I was really huge and really slow, and I was always coming last, but I had to take accountability for that, and that's what made me look at my health and get a little bit fitter later on, because I didn't want to keep coming last. So if you're going to reward someone for coming last, I mean, where is their drive? Where's their ambition? And what mindset does that put them in for life ahead?
Yeah, and it goes back to that equation we were talking about earlier, the event plus response equals outcome. And the response bit, that's where where the accountability and the responsibility sits. So actually, an event happens, it's what you do about it that's important. And if you're blaming other people, then your outcome is always going to be less than good. Whereas if you've taken accountability and responsibility, then you are then in control of your outcome. And so it's very much about if people go through life and almost expecting things to happen to them, it's like, you know, the phrase, you know, the harder I work, the luckier I become. Yeah, it's sort of like the consistency and the flexibility as well. So the combination of the two, consistently doing the things that you know you should do, and the flexibility to adjust with the market, with the customers, the clients, to change your business so that it still meets their needs, but taking accountability and responsibility that if something doesn't go well, and it comes on to my next tip actually, is how we deal with that is the important bit. So it's rather than going, well, it's everybody else's fault, saying, well, what can I do about it? Yeah. How do I move forward? What can I do to improve the situation? Rather than expecting other people always to resolve it. Does that make sense? It's very much about internally looking.
100%.
On your passion.
100%. If it's wrong, it's my fault. I don't care if it's my supplier, if it's the customer, it's my fault. I've got to deal with it, and that's when I can acknowledge that acknowledgement that, okay, the buck stops here, which is the famous Nixon thing from the Watergate affair. It's the same thing. All arrows point this way. If it's gone wrong, if it is to be, it's up to me, and that's real setting you up there.
Absolutely. And you know what I think is when I first realised this, to be able to put your hand up and say, oh my goodness, I made a mistake, because we are all human, right? We're not robots, we're human. You know, there's not one person on this earth who's never made a mistake, okay? So it may not be deliberate, it just happens sometimes. To be able to turn around and say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake, takes this massive weight off your own life anyway, in your own business, because your customers will respect that. They'll respect the honesty, yeah? Obviously, you need to put it right. Goes without saying, one hopes. But do you know what I mean? It's just to be able to go, okay, I'm accountable for me, I'm accountable for my business. If I did something that wasn't the way it should be, I now need to solve it, take accountability and responsibility, and move on. So, and learn from it.
Absolutely, and it is right. It is learning from it, and you know, life can get chaotic. You know, I've had things in recent years, and I've made some terrible blinders of mistakes, and purely didn't know what was going on when it was pointed out to me. Okay, yeah, I've got that totally wrong. Put it right, and then move on. Now, you don't always get forgiveness off of everybody. I've come to find that, but you know, it's been pointed out, you've put it right, and you move on. And if people want to hold that against you, well, you've done all that you've been able to do. The problem then lays with them, and you just have to move on. You know, the biggest thing I found about when things go wrong is you actually find out who your real friends are. Because there's some people that go, you've done this wrong, blah, 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 you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then the other person says, okay, well, look, you made a mistake, you've acknowledged it. All right, mate, do you need me to help you out to sort it out? And that's when you find out who your real friends are. And actually, it's sometimes it's a really great thing that's happened, because it's actually exposed who the really bad people in your life are that you need to just move on from and protect yourself. So, yeah, a really great subject that I could probably go on for hours, as you could tell. But yeah,
talk for a while on that one, couldn't we?
Sorry?
Yeah, we could talk for a while on this one.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. So, thank you for tip 4. Probably my favourite of the day. Thank you for spending time with us today. This has been brought to you by the Case Mastermind Group. Please be sure to follow us in the links to this message. Please give your real, honest feedback on what you have just heard and share what you enjoyed or liked the best. We really do check the feedback that we receive. Please also share with your friends who you believe could benefit from it, just to show you care. To our listeners, remember, no matter where you are on the mountain of success, let's enjoy the journey together to the top. We will see you there, my friends.